right, here we go. So thank you so much for being here. If you don't know me yet, my name is Linda Fabry. I'm an intuitive artist, a clairvoyant empath. I've got some training and I've got a degree in art therapy and training in healing touch and some other stuff. And I use it all to do readings for people. And I pretty much, I think the way I understand it is like, I just connect to my source, and that's where everybody else is. So I consider it channeling. I consider it channeling like your higher self, your source energy, or our source for messages. And I've just been kind of interpreting them and doing this. I've been doing it for a long time. So the way that this event's going to go, this is only the third one, so I'm really excited. Um, the first two were really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm expecting this one to also be really fun. So the way it'll go is I will call on the participant who has a question or wants a reading. They'll give me their numbers. They correspond to numbers on paints. I'll use those paints to create a background on one of these little cards. So a full reading, an hour-long paint gazing session is like a 9 by 12. So it's a little bigger than this paper here. And then but this one's going to be like a 5-10 minute reading. I'm sorry, I'm like clicking on things too. You'll catch up, don't worry about it. So when I call your name, I'm going to ask you for 3 numbers on your favorite. We're going to put those down in the background. I'm going to paint whatever I see. We'll have a little bit of a dialogue. It'll be like 5-10 minutes, and then I'll analyze the final painting. And that'll be so you can ask a question or you can just do a general. And then I'll also pull a card from my massive card deck. I make oracle cards too. This is a combination of 4 of my different decks together. They play nicely. I like them together. So I'll pull a card for you and get that, and I'll do that all in like 5-10 minutes is what I'm intending. And at the end, or throughout, if you have questions, I can answer them. But I have kind of left a little space in my mind toward the end of the event to answer anybody's questions. If anybody has questions about the process or how to learn things. And then the final paintings will be available for purchase if you want them. Otherwise, they'll go on eBay. You can purchase them there, which helps to all of the proceeds go so that I can provide free art support groups, which is a group where you can come in the same format, but a smaller group. It's limited to 8 people, and you can learn to tap into your own intuition and learn things about yourself through art. All right. So after that, I'm gonna go here and see who's got there. So Deb, you're up first. So you can go ahead and unmute. So if everybody else has got theirs muted, then I can just talk to Deborah, and then when it comes your turn, you can mute and unmute. That makes sense? How you doing today, Deborah?
Oh, I'm stressed.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully
It'll
we'll
get
kind
better.
of
It's just something that needs to
decompress.
take time. But
Yeah.
I was just looking for a general reading today, nothing
Okay.
specific.
All right. Well, let's see. What kind of numbers have you got?
4, 13, 29.
Get that
Hey,
dark
come here.
4, 13, 29. And then do you have a favorite color you want to add in there?
Black.
All right. Got the dark gray and the black. That's pretty cool. So general. Still got that up and down kind of, I want to call it stoic, like a pillar. That motion. I don't know if I can get any closer. Oh. Like the spiral energy in the middle there, that soft purple. Can you see it pretty well?
Yes.
Is it really small or is it okay?
No, I'm on a computer, so it's not bad.
Okay. Trying something different today. It feels like it wants to just spread out, like all the energy just wants to go. There's this little tiny corner. Interesting. When I look at these, the way that I interpret like that white space, although I feel like I want to tell you this, when I took like a Psych 101 class, they were talking about Rorschach tests, and the professor held up one of those ink blots and said, "What do you see?" And I said, "Oh, it looks just like an owl in the white space." And she recoiled with great drama and went, "Oh, the white space. When people see stuff in the white space, it means that they have repressed anger."
Oh, no.
And I said, "Well, I didn't a minute ago." So when I see the white space, and I feel like I want to tell you that because it's kind of like maybe there's some energy like that. Like, but anger is such a great emotion to push us out of, you know, like feeling stuck or despair, any of those kind of things. So I like it. I really want to zoom in. I wish, well, I can work it like this, or I can hold it up. So I just want to kind of show you. I feel like there's a doorway or something where that blue is.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a portal, but like a door. So I'm gonna start with that. And as usual, I'm like unprepared.
Get your
Mm,
lid out for your paint.
I know I didn't have it. Like I went to wash it and then I got distracted, you know. That's I used to have an assistant that would help me set up for art shows, and I would always be like, she'd always like kind of rein me, come back here, Linda. I was thinking of her earlier, and I'm like, oh, I really need her. So I feel like there's this very like rectangular. So it feels connected to like stability and and foundational kind of thing. I'm actually getting like multiple squares. This whole thing is like a door. It's like, oh, it's like, huh, it's an interesting angle. So it's like the door is swung open. It's like a cage is opened, is what it looks like. And that blue, that's a wonderful blue. I want to kind of emphasize, this is an interesting shape. We're going to see what that does, but something about this blue here.
And with the thumb up.
Yes.
I know how much you love to draw hands.
Isn't it? Oh my gosh, another hand. Come on, Debbie, help me out here. You
Maybe
know
use
what? I'm
something
just
different
gonna
than a hand.
outline it. We're just gonna outline it. Freaking hands. It is totally though a thumbs up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, I could have like opted for the easy route and put the fingers on the other side, but no. It's a big old thumbs up. I also feel like there's like you know what it reminds me of? The tarot card, like a ace where it's got the hand coming out holding um I don't I used tarot a little bit, so I don't those of you who know tarot cards better than I do would know. Maybe like I don't know, I feel like there's a big hand that comes out and it's holding something. Yeah, it feels like freedom. A big thumb. Yay. And then, what is this? I feel like there's wings up here. I'm just gonna. Did you say something about a phoenix in one of the paintings earlier this?
Yes, I did. A phoenix rising from the fire.
Yeah, I feel like there's that kind of energy, but it's a dove, so it's like a peaceful rebirth. And I want to say like trusting in the stability of things and like nice little heart. Mm, that looks like a keyhole.
Oh, it sure does.
Interesting that the keyhole's down there and not. Hmm. And it's a little friend right here. And I'm being mindful of time, so it's going to be a quick
Yep, no problem.
friend. But it is definitely a little dragon friend. Do
Yeah, I connect with dragons quite a bit.
you? Oh, that's great. He's kind of a little guardian, it feels like.
Yep.
I feel like it just said like, I told you I'm here, like you don't have to worry, or like
My yesterday reading that I did on my calendar was a big dragon.
oh real.
Hmm.
Yeah. This one's I feel like it's looking over its shoulder like, hey, I told you I was here. Almost like the little this doorway with the thumb is kind of cracking me up. I love it. It's like it's safe, go through, you're in. This, yeah, this little keyhole is interesting. All right. So I'm gonna do a quick, it reminds me of the peanut from the one in that one painting too. And then I'm not gonna paint that part, but I want to point it out. So, okay, so looking at this one more closely, it looks like the cage is open or like a door. I gotta say cage or like a cell or something like that. It's like you're being released from, maybe feeling trapped or something. So it feels like freedom and like moving forward. A big honking thumbs up. This kind of connecting things. I think we talked about the equidistant cross, that plus sign, and how that represents integration or making connections. This dove, I want to like extend this tail feather over here. It just doesn't, I feel like symmetry is really important for some reason. It just feels like it. Um, so it feels like it was like released maybe from this area. And the dragon just kind of watching all the time, like, yeah, yeah, I'm powerful. Like your energy's like, of course I'm powerful. You know I'm powerful, like, duh. But that's internally.
Hmm.
Externally, there's still this kind of like keyhole. That blue, I feel like there's something you're looking at through that blue. Um, I want
It's
to
weird
say that
that you
it's
said trapped because I was just
mm,
reading a poem yesterday that resonated with me, and the name of the poem was Trapped.
oh, interesting.
And then I
Okay.
wrote a poem of my own. It's called Caged. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah, that fits.
so that all
And
fits.
it's like the door is open, so you can just go through it if you want to, but I feel like there's a tendency to want to like stay in here and like, so imagine this is like the view from inside the cage or cell. There's a tendency to still want to kind of like look through this keyhole,
To see
even though
what's on
the
the other
door is
side.
open and you could just walk through and experience it. There's a tendency to want to look at it instead, is what it feels like. And that's on the external, but internally is kind of like this dragon in this soft purple and that like spiritual crown area. And I think because you got this little white space, now I always interpret the white space as a non-physical. So there's like a non-physical presence deep in your experience right there that's just sitting with you. All right, let me pull a card quick to go with that one. Whoa. Focus on the first step. Yeah, and my cards just like went kind of crazy and focus on the light. So there's a lot of focus. They just jumped at me. So this one, focus on the first step, which is fascinating because here's that dove, there's that heart like that's in there too. This, it's got these two, like, so it's staying between the two poles of polarity. You know, don't worry about tomorrow. Just put your best foot forward for today. And I think that's what this is trying to scry into the future to like make sure you're going on the right path or something. Just stay centered, stay in between everything, stay centered, and where your attention goes, energy flows. And so speaking on that, where your attention goes thing, focus on the light. The time for digging in the dirt has passed. Like if you've already done like the planting, you've done the work. Now it's time to look up, look for the light and let it guide your growth. All right.
It's very powerful.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I hope that's helpful. Nice to connect with you again.
Oh, you too.
All right. Yana, you still awake? Let's see if you're here.
Hey,
Hello, hi. How are you?
a little bit tired, but okay.
I'm glad you're still with us. Do you have a question or intention for your reading?
How can I reconnect with my feelings again?
Okay. And how about three numbers between 1 and 40?
1, 13, and 26.
And then do you have a favorite color?
A light gray like number 4.
Okay. Got it. All right. So reconnecting with your feelings. Okay. Look at all the purples. Look at all these soft purples and then the gray. Love this color combination. All right, we're gonna put one down first. Feels very compact, like a seed. It's like something growing, and I feel it in my throat too. Like oh, look at a question mark. Mm. Yeah, it definitely feels like egg, seed, or something incubating. And I want to say like this downtime, and I know that's like it's a sleepy time for you right now too, but it feels like the I don't know that there's ever really a disconnect from our feelings, but it's just very, very quiet. Mhm. So it felt like it wanted to go in, like push in and then push out. And when it pushes out, so it will move. Was the question, how can you reconnect with your feelings?
Yeah.
Is it just like a numbness?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It feels a little like it's an overcast, like an overcast sky is what I'm gonna, but there's definitely like something emerging.
It feels like I just can't reach them.
Mm. Mm-hmm. All right, look at this. Feels floral. It's interesting too when you say you can't reach it. It feels almost like there's like there's an image back there, but there's a film over it, right? Hmm. I think okay. I want to take that dark gray. Gonna work. So the circle's coming up, and the circle tends to represent like wholeness and the self. So I'm just gonna outline this circle here. So I feel like there's a like you're in the process of kind of figuring out who you are in a new way. Feels like a new way of understanding yourself, which is part of it. And I'm going to add some water because I feel like there's some boundaries to be drawn. That's when I see this dark color coming out, I feel like there's boundaries to be drawn. There's part of it like trying to figure, or not trying to, but just kind of discovering where your boundaries are, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not. Those kind of like self-discovery process. Just put my paintbrush on where to go. And then adding water here is like expressing emotion, like letting it'll flow eventually as you work through those boundaries. It'll like start to come through. Let's see, this darker, this water wants to come around. It feels constrained though, which is fine. I think part of it is giving yourself permission to just be however you want to be, or you know what I mean, or however you are at any given moment. I feel like there's a little gem over here. This looks like a ring. And you feel like, yeah, there's like a little diamond on this side. I feel like there's a talisman. I feel like there's a touchstone. There's maybe something physical in your life that can help you kind of connect to, you know, there may be some fear about feeling, fear of committing. That's what I see that I'm like, oh, is it like a commitment to self? Is there some fear of commitment to that kind of, like if you let yourself feel, then you like got to deal with the feelings, right? So sometimes that feels overwhelming. But I think once you make the decision, this is like, so it's envisioning. So there's the circle that's related to the self and wholeness and knowing yourself and who you are, what you want, those kind of things. And then there's like all these little faceted triangle shapes. So it's like internally, there's all this idea of like, because this gem is over here that feels like it's an internal process. It's this feeling of like visions, dreams, goals, that kind of thing. Like, but it feels like nothing's really satisfying enough to like bring it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's just so, but this color, which was, I think, was it 26?
Yes.
26 reduces to 8. Is that like a birthday number or something?
No.
And then with these diamonds too, I feel like there's like it's there under the surface. There's a lot of like suddenly I'm seeing like, oh, there's diamonds everywhere. Look at them all. So there's little gems in there, but you know, diamonds, they take time and pressure. So it could just be you're in like an incubation period, figuring out what you want out of life. Are you bored?
No, no, no.
Not a boring thing. It's just a unfeeling.
Yeah. Um, yeah, yeah, just
I feel like I do feel a little bit of chemical interference, but I don't know if that's, yeah.
What does this mean?
Either a medication or hormones or food or something chemical in the body.
Okay.
That's kind of like dulling, has a dulling property. But I do feel like there's the ability to make connections, but it's not quite connecting. And I feel like there's so, like what I'm seeing is like the kind of like a nerve, right? Like it's jumping across, but it's not quite making it all the way across the gap.
Mm,
Or there's something like there's like a receptor blocked or something like that. So that's something maybe to check out. There's some sort of interference. I feel like there's little squares in there. So there's some ideas of wanting to become stable. This ring, that little brown, what color was that? Number one. I think there's a little, oh, it's like all of a sudden I put it on there and it wanted to kind of come out. So are you feeling social? Are you kind of like hiding out?
little bit of hiding out.
It feels like there's like a little nest in here. And I'm just gonna share something from my own experience. A few years ago, I was feeling like I was isolating a lot, and I was feeling kind of, I just kind of like, I don't know, the more I stayed alone, I didn't realize that's what it was about, but I was, yeah, I was feeling numb and I was having like derealization and all this stuff. And I went to the, to an inpatient thing for a little bit. And I realized while I was there that, because I used to run those classes, so it wasn't like I learned new things. I mean, they were nice and everything, but what really benefited me was going to lunch with the other people that were in the program. And it was the socialization and connecting with other people that kind of brought my, I don't know, zest for life back. So I feel like there's a little nest inside this ring. So it's like maybe you've been sitting on this commitment to yourself and like not making a move to like do the things you want to do in your life. And that's the spark. So if the question is how, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
No, no.
Oh, okay. So there's a little bird in here in the shadow. Little little raven meant to fly. So yeah, so the question of how can I get my feeling back is to kind of step out of your little shell. Come on out of your, because doesn't it look like an egg now? It's like it's like a little bird in an egg. Yeah, like share your gifts and your gems. You've got all these little gems here. This looks like a feather. So you've got things to be proud of. Do you feel good about the things you've done or you in life?
Yes.
Awesome. Because I'm seeing a feather and I just want to say, like, when I see feathers, I want to remind people to be proud of their accomplishments. That's kind of what that means in my little image vocabulary. It's like, don't hide your feathers. There we go. What's that? So what it feels like to me is like to get your mojo back, to get your feel and start feeling again, is to recognize your gifts, recognize your own sparkle, so to speak. Engage in the process of envisioning, like, what would you like to feel? What would you like to experience? And let your imagination kind of, it feels like you've got a lot of creative energy, but it just feels kind of stagnant. So going and doing things and being around, especially strangers, like even you go to a bookshop or somewhere that you think would be a fun place to be, just to engage with I don't know, someone behind the counter even, you know what I mean? Just anything, just to kind of like spark it and just come out of your little thing because, and so, oh, here we go too. So yeah, it could feel very intense and call to your pack. So two different things. The first things first is remember to breathe. So the increasing momentum of life can feel intense and overwhelming. So taking a few deep breaths. So this is saying take them now. So I'm going to invite everybody to just and feel safe. So remembering this card as you venture out, as you kind of do things to call the feelings back to you or access those feelings is going to come with, recognizing it might be a little intense, which may have caused you to kind of create a scenario where you're not feeling as much. So when the intense feelings come back, allow peace to wash them and let them keep flowing. And also, like I was saying, like connecting with others is going to be key to feeling because we are meant to be, we're social beings. That's just kind of our nature. Call to your pack, open your heart and let your song pour out. You're not alone. When you let your authentic light shine brightly, it's a beacon for kindred connections. So finding things that feel good to you, that you can kind of branch out. That's what I'm seeing with these is branch out. I almost want to, I'm just going to put a tiny little leaf on one of them just as a starting point. And this is going to go on this side of it out in the social sphere. One little green brick. Boop. There, you're ready. You're already starting to grow. Right? So there's your little, yeah. I hope that helps. I love that it's circles. I love that you're learning about yourself and you know what you want. I think that's a great starting point to know that you want to connect with your emotions. Yeah. And feel stuff.
Thank you very much.
You're
And
very welcome.
I
Get
would
some
love
rest.
to have it.
Okay, I'll put it aside. Yeah,
Yeah, you can put it moms. So
I will. Yeah, she told me to hold on
thank
to her
you.
other ones. All right. Have a great night, Yana.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who's next? Let me just check something quick. So I've got Sarah next. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Good.
Can you hear me? So can you all see just this screen or can you see me and stuff too?
For me on desktop, I can see like a list of faces at the top,
Okay. All right.
but I don't know about everybody else.
I don't know, because if I'm like making faces at you, I don't know if you can see me.
Oh, I
So
can't see
I'll
you.
I'll try to do some here. You can choose to see the paper or everyone. Gotcha. Thank you, Natasha. All right. So Sarah, tell me about your intention, or do you have a specific question or topic you want to explore?
So you can, I wrote it down. Let me see what I wrote. What are things that are ideal for me to focus on this year, or tools that will guide me, or you could do both if you feel comfortable
Gotcha.
doing two, whichever is fine.
Okay. So we'll look at what your focus for the year and different tools that might help to guide you. Yeah.
Yeah, or stay focused. Yeah.
Stay focused. Gotcha. Okay. So 3 numbers between 1 and 40.
Okay. 16, 19, 11.
And your favorite color?
Green.
Oh, so I was like, say blue, say blue. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I was just
do you
random.
have a like a favorite kind of green? Do you like foresty green or lime green or deep dark green?
Cerulean, which is like
Which is like
oceany.
a blue.
Yeah.
I've got Laguna. Is that close?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. That's great. I love it. All right.
Color
Are you a water
variations.
sign by chance?
Yeah.
That's fun. Oh, have you ever done any like what do they call light language writing type stuff? Do you doodle?
Yes.
Do you end up making little like sigils and stuff?
What's a sigil?
Like little patterns or like weird little scribbly thing. Are you familiar with light language? Have you ever heard of it?
No, but my friend does something that's something probably like that. What is that?
I don't know that much about it, but people will tell me that it shows up in my artwork. They'll like, oh, that's light language. And it looks like kind of like characters, like sort of like symbols, Randy says. Yeah, they're like little symbols, sort of. Um, but we like interpret them through like energetically, I guess. But anyway, as it was coming out, I was like, oh, I think you have the capacity for either making them or interpreting them or something. I just think I wanted to mention it because I think it might be a fun thing for you to explore.
Yeah, somebody in the comments said runes are an example, and it
Yeah.
really they have really really helped me in the past. Like I don't think I have any. Uh, I don't know. They were really helpful for me to process things.
I think so. If one of your intentions is like what kind of tools, I think, yeah, working with that. So a sigil is something that you might create. That would be an interesting thing to explore too, where um, that would be like one symbol that you can put energy into to, do something for you. Or I think,
Okay.
oh, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I feel like I'm like a little kid playing in a sandbox or something. So your inner child is coming through like, ooh, squishy. I love it. And very watery and like, yeah, I feel like making a mess is a good, it feels, yeah. So God, there's so much coming through for you just before I've even painted anything, and I love it. But I want to tell you, like, to ease up, like, I think there's a very wonderful analytical aspect to your thinking, but I think because you're so watery and there's so much flow, to just let things be very fluid and fun. Wow, look at that. There's a turtle. Ooh, a turtle. All right. Is it meaningful? I love it.
I'm turning extremely red.
Yay.
It's not embarrassing. I'm just shocked.
Yeah, it's weird how things come through sometimes. Um, do you have a turtle? Is the turtle your thing or what?
Um, I've always like dreamed about turtles and liked turtles specifically.
Mm, that's cool.
I once had like a really, really like intense dream about like 100 sparkling baby turtles in like this cave, and the sunlight was like on it, and it was
That's
just unforgettable.
Oh, so okay, so what's really weird about, I don't know if this is true. I'm just gonna, I'm just sharing what I've heard or whatever. With the light language thing, I think it is somehow connected to like Atlantis or something like that, like water. So I don't know if that's true or not. But I wanted to just, so I forgot to mention, if anybody's new to me, if it pops into my head, it comes out my mouth. Like that's my rule, whether I understand or agree or believe or any of that. So what's coming through is like this connection to, and when you're talking about like shining caverns underwater with baby turtles, it makes me think of like Atlantis or something. I love it. All right, the little cute little turtle friend. Oh, and then they've got a little jellyfish buddy. Randy says, yes, I have some light worker decks, a lot of water stuff in there. Cool. Yeah. So So one of the ways that I look at these is like, when I do dream interpretation too, I look at every aspect of the picture as an aspect of self. And so I feel like there's a turtle part of you and then like a jellyfish part of you. And the turtle part of you is more internally focused. It's like slow down. That's the slow down wisdom. And then the jellyfish part of you is like this, it just reminded me, I used to always say, I'm very shy, so I make up for it by being like overly silly and stuff like that. I don't know if that's something you experience, but it feels like there's some jellyfish energy when you feel put on the spot or when you feel like you need to like boost your energy up. So you kind of get this wiggly jellyfish energy. But
That has been true.
internally, you're more of a turtle, like chill, wise, ancient. That's your internal. So I feel like your internal or external parts are kind of swimming together. And down here, do you consider yourself a parallel thinker? I feel like there's this intense intellectual aspect coming through where it's like really, that's why I'm seeing all these like cross lines. So when I see lines that cross, that makes me think of like making connections. So it feels like there's both of these are looking at the ocean floor. It has all these lines from above. And this ability to see the interconnectedness of things. The connection like from between science and spirituality as an example. I like to, when people are able to like see the connections between those things. Or does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Good.
Definitely.
And I feel like there's like it kind of creates then these little squares, and squares are stability. And you said focused, didn't you? So like they're focused. They're very focused. They're very focused on what's happening down here in the depths. And together. So it's like bringing your internal and external parts together. Yeah, it feels like that's where it's at. And I'm gonna grab this Laguna color again. Because I feel like there's like this in the middle here. Are you an artist?
Yes.
Yeah. He hesitated. Don't
Well,
hesitate. Yes, you're an artist. Yeah, this creative energy is, yeah, you're like swimming in it, basically. Like it's just second nature. What kind of artwork do you create?
I mostly work in acrylics. I've done sculpture before and gouache as well. Mostly 2D painting now.
Mm. Yeah, so being very fluid with that if you can. Do you know what your rising sign or your moon sign is?
Taurus.
Taurus. Okay. So that earth and water, how's that working for you? So the squares down here, I feel like, yeah, they're like looking for this kind of, it's interesting. So they're looking for stability, but because they're swimming in all this creativity. So it's like looking for compartments for it, but without realizing that like they're in, like everything's a vessel. This little section especially. So it's like looking for the little puzzle pieces to kind of, this kind of creates a circle, which makes me think of like, who am I? This like, but it also says kind of like X marks the spot. So there's kind of a fun energy with that one too. So looking at this one and answering the question of like, what do you need to focus on this year, or what kind of tools would be helpful for you to focus? We're looking at joining the internal aspect of self with the external. This is also like the nonlinear or like receptive aspect with the active expressive aspect of self. So bringing those two together in the realm of your creativity, because that feels like the biggest movement this year is, or like really where the focus is relating to, kind of like that's where they're at, is creativity. And that could be your art, specifically like what you're creating, but also like what you're creating in your life, and finding ways to have a kind of a fun structure, or a structure that works, and as opposed to like some other like an expected structure. Like what's your unique structure for your day, for your month, those kinds of things. Does that make sense? What I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because that feels like you can make a circle with squares. That's a very creative way to like make sense. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying. Like you can
Oh,
do what you accomplish, what you want to accomplish. It doesn't have to be the way other people do it, you know.
yeah,
Um,
that's exactly what I've been thinking for like most of my adult life, is like I gotta figure out, because I can't copy anyone else, because I just don't do well with routines. Like I cannot do
yeah.
routines usually. So it's like I'm just gonna go for fun and volume, because like even if 3 months I'm like focusing a lot and then the next 3 months I'm not, that's better
Yeah.
than quitting.
Well, and I think what water always says to me is there's an ebb and flow, right? Like there's never like, I mean, creativity isn't like you can't dole it out. I mean, you can, but it doesn't last that long when you do it like that, when you dole it out, piece it out in little things. It comes in great rushes, just like the ocean, you know? So yeah, I think you got it. So this feels like a nice, bring the two parts of yourself together, the internal and external parts, and let them work together in doing it. Like be a jellyfish and wiggle around when you need to wiggle around, and then be like a slow drifting turtle when you need to be a slow drifting turtle. But both are fine. And just as if you recognize that that's what you're experiencing, and don't get down on yourself if you're not fitting into something. All right, let me pull a card around it real quick. You hold the key. You hold the key. So often we unlock one question only to find several more inside. Never cease asking. You hold the key to every door, and every answer is within you. So it kind of looks like they're doing a puzzle down here, but there's always another piece. There's always another way to put things together. Kind of reminds me, have you ever seen those little plastic things that are just little shapes and you can like make other shapes with it? I can't remember what that's called, but it
Engram.
reminds me of that. Like there's so many possibilities with that. You know what that is?
Yeah. I think they're tangrams. Is that what it's called?
Something grams. Yeah, what is it?
Tangrams, I think.
Anagram? Yes, that's what I'm
Tanagram.
picturing. So they're playing a game. So be playful with it, but always remember, like you'll figure it out. You're gonna find an answer to it. Your brain, you're like an idea factory. So you're like, oh yeah, this is the way to do it. And then, I don't know, a month or two later, you're gonna be like, now I want to figure out how to do it differently. So but don't ever stop. Don't cease the asking. So as soon as you figure something out, you're gonna have another question. And that's just the nature of creativity, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I want that to be a reminder too. Okie
Wow,
dokie.
thank you.
You're welcome. It was great talking with you.
You as well. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right. Who's next? Kay Marie. Hello. You still with me?
I am. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I have to get up where it's not so noisy.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Excellent.
It's nice to talk to you.
You too. I know I wanted to do this last week and missed it, so I'm happy
Well,
it
I'm glad
worked
you're
this
here
time.
now. All right. So what kind of question have you got?
Not so much a question. I've got a personal opportunity and I'm just kind of deciding if it's right for me or not, basically.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll look at that. Let me let in somebody. Hold on one second. Oh, so
Mhm.
that I wanted to mention too, like if anybody falls out of the room and you need to come back in, I will let you back in between. I check the waiting room in between things. So just so you know. All right. So what three numbers do you have?
Uh, let's see, 6, 12, and 27.
Order. And do you have a favorite color?
Yes, it's kind of a dark teal, maybe is the right way to, I wish I had a real name for it.
There is a name for it. It's called Tuscan teal. It's my favorite, but I'm out.
Tuscan teal. Okay.
I mean, that's what the paint company calls it. Oh, I do have one. Look, I opened this drawer. I swear to God, I thought I was out of it, but it's like this color.
Pretty, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Love it.
Well, look, it goes great with these.
Hey, okay.
Okay. I love it's so much fun to have people pick by number because it's just such a surprise and it's always right. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we're looking at opportunities. Oh, what is with okay, that's fun.
Dots.
Is it like a work opportunity?
No, it's not work, it's personal. So it's
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta open this. You got brand new. Brand
Yay, cool.
new. That's very cool. I usually say if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. But so if it's something you want, you just need to find a way for it to feel like a hell yes, right?
Right. Oh, that's the right color. That's awesome.
Yeah, I knew exactly what you meant. And I love that you picked this one with it. That they
That's
go
pretty
so
together.
well.
Yeah.
Okay. Opportunity. Gosh, that just feels fun though, that word, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the right word. It's the right word. So I'm trying to decide.
Opportunity.
You're right though about the hell yes or not. Maybe I'm scared to make it be hell yes is the right answer. You know?
Yeah.
Could be.
Ooh. Yeah, ooh, look at that.
Pretty.
I wanna do something. I don't know why, but I want to turn it upside down and squish it again. I feel like if you could shift your perspective a little bit.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Maybe that's what it's saying. Shift your perspective, turn things upside down. What does it look like? You ever do that with artwork? Have you ever seen someone do that? Like if you take a painting and you're just like, oh, it doesn't quite look right, and you turn it upside down, then you immediately can tell like what's off about it.
Right. Right.
I feel like this situation, if you could like turn it upside down in your head or look at it from like imagine I always picture like Blue Man Group, how they're all like, oh, this is like the whole world is new to them. Imagine you're
Yes.
like that and you're looking at it from that perspective of like someone who's just new to life.
Mm-hmm.
Would it make sense to you? You know what I mean? Like what would be off? Looking at things from this, you just woke up here in this world kind of view.
Cool.
That's kind of a
Cool.
nice.
Yeah.
That's a fun exercise. Ooh, look at that. Look at all those
Pretty.
colors. Ooh. Yeah. I'm feeling dragonfly. I'm not sure, like feeling dragonfly on that.
Okay.
And go right into it. Oh yeah, because like there's the head. Is this I don't want to ask you too much. I don't know how much you're comfortable sharing, but there's a heart here. I'm wondering if this is a romantic opportunity.
Cool.
There's like the face of the dragonfly is like heart. But I also am reminded of the oh, what is it? There was a book called like The Path with Heart or something like that.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's old. It's an old one. It's from the 90s, I think.
So are we.
Exactly. Mhm. Oh, I like this. These colors. This is a really fun color to paint with too. But yeah, this dragonfly is just it's a little wonky. I like it. It's kind of bendy. Usually they're real straight, and this one's, yeah, it's just gonna do its thing. All right. Outline that a little bit. So it's got like, see how it's got kind of the heart-shaped face?
Mhm. They kind of do have a heart-shaped face,
They
actually.
do. I'm just thinking that. I'm like, oh yeah, they do kind of have this fun.
Cute.
Yeah. Hmm. And I feel like it's over water, or like like it's looking at its reflection in the water,
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
and like I definitely feel like there's some connection to. You're not in like Louisiana or something, are you?
No, I'm in Washington, but see the water
Okay.
behind me?
Really?
I live on
Oh,
the
that's
canal.
cool.
So yeah.
Because I was picturing like swampy, like deep,
Oh no. But I
but
am
no.
originally from Texas. I'm
Okay.
from East Texas, so close to Louisiana. But no, not
Wow.
now.
I want to put little patterns on here. Well, and I keep thinking, so that I might just be thinking of that book, A Path with Heart, just because what a great title,
Mhm.
But I definitely feel like there's hearts. This is, yeah, this is, yeah, kind of like be led with your heart kind of message, I think, or like,
Great. Yeah.
heart makes sense. Cute little dragonfly, getting a little face. All right. And a lot going on this external side. That's what I'm seeing. Three, so connecting with others. It definitely feels like would this like take you out of your comfort zone?
A little maybe. Yeah.
Mhm. So the nice thing, what I love about a dragonfly is, oh, look at these nines. Do you have a 9 in your life? Like, do you know your Enneagram? Are you a 9 in Enneagram?
I'm an 11.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. No, I don't do a lot of nines, but I see that.
Yeah, there's like a couple of 9s facing each other here. Could be spirals too, but it felt like a 9. Um, yeah, the dragonfly is really great at like hopping from thing to thing. Like they're very agile. And so I think of like emotional agility or like your
Mm,
ability, like resilience. So, when we look at opportunities, it what, you can always change your mind. I know it doesn't always feel like it.
mhm.
There's always kind of like, oh, well, if it feels right now and it doesn't feel right later, that's okay. Like I think we get in the trap of, I have to make this decision forevermore, regardless.
Excellent.
And the dragonfly is a great symbol, much like a hummingbird. Like they go from thing, actually that's what
Mhm.
keeps the dragonfly safe is their ability to kind of land very gently and some sparkles. Let's add a little sparkle to these wings. So, okay, internally, you're making lots of connections, and that's what's kind of, it feels very uplifting. The ability to
Good.
like make these really cool connections. It's like, I almost feel like there's all these things firing internally, like
Mm-hmm.
all this light going off, like, so very exciting. It's a good indication.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So pretty.
Mm. It feels simple. Feels really simple. Like,
It's great. I love it.
yeah, like self-reflect. I mean, it feels like an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for self-reflection, if nothing else.
Right. Right.
So there's, yeah, and like all those little hearts going up the spine, I feels like it feels like alignment, like that's what that's saying is like,
Mm-hmm.
strength through, like you feel it, like that strength as everything kind of lines up. You got your, I wanted to say your little ducks in a row. I mean, they're not ducks, but it kind of
Right.
like makes me think of that. So if this being the representation of your external experience or like how you're interacting with, it looks like, yeah, everything lines up, da da da. And then internally, it might just be because maybe you're just someone who's used to feeling this internally. And so it's like everything's presenting itself externally. And so it's kind of like, oh, but all I just feel here is this like buzziness or something like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's like a
Cool.
little empty space that like, what do I fill
Mm-hmm.
that with? Whereas
Right. Right. Right.
it's
Right.
really solid externally, and that's where all the color is at and all that. But yeah, so it's new. It feels like a new thing. What do we got here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, give or take. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It feels like energy centers, like chakras. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
it feels like everything's aligned. Do you feel aligned with this opportunity?
I hope so.
Are
I
you
guess
just
that's,
like
yeah.
afraid of being wrong?
Right. Yes. It's
Yeah.
like you, yes. It's a lot like what you said at first. It's the whole hell yes thing. And I'd like to be a hell yes, but I think I'm scared of that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, oh, I love all of it. It's
All
great.
right.
It all
Let me pull a card for you real quick. We got a
perfect.
tree
It all
card.
makes me think.
Focus on the light. I'm gonna pull one more for you too. Another tree.
Mhm.
Oh, look at
Yeah, look at all that.
that. So focus on the light. The time for digging in the dirt is past. Look up, look for the light, and it will guide your growth. And then new beginnings.
Mhm.
After a long dormant season, it's time for renewal and growth. So branch out in new directions.
Very cool.
Feels
Very
pretty
cool.
clear.
Uh-huh, it does.
There you go.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I
Well, it was
do want
great.
him, so
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
I will, just so everybody knows, I'll send out an email probably tomorrow sometime with a link to get these. I'm working some things out. I think it'll be a link to my website. It might be to eBay. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, but there'll be a way to get your card if you want it. All
awesome.
right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Linda.
It
That's
was so
so
nice to
fun.
connect with you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, Randy, hello. And let's see.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for waiting. All right. So, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you have 3 numbers between 1 and 40?
6, 14, 39.
39. And then do you have a favorite color?
I don't, it's usually rainbow, but I'll go with orange.
Orange. Oh, I love orange. All right. You want like a light orange or a medium orange?
Medium.
Boop. And look at those beautiful colors.
Perfect.
And so, what kind of intention or thoughts do you have or question would you like your reading to focus on?
Just kind of general today.
Okay. Well, it feels like things are just kind of slow, meandering. Reminds me a little bit of like a sitting person or something. A little meditative. It's interesting. Often I want to put the favorite color like to surround it. But this time it's like, oh no, it goes right there, right in the center. Like you hold it, like you hold your favorites close to your heart or close to you.
Yes.
So how are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good.
Do you live in a snowy place?
Yes, I'm in Canada, so
Oh yeah.
a couple days
Did
has
you guys
been
get the
snow.
big storm that came around a couple days ago?
Yes, my kids had a snow day, so
Nice. Yeah, so the energy just want to kind of wants to stay in close. And that could be because like I put you on the spot here on a Zoom. But doesn't want to move too much. It like spreads out and then it comes back in. You know, it reminds me, have you ever dug a hole in the sand and then like the sand kind of slides back in?
yep.
That's what it feels like. The energy, like as I spread it out, it's like, no, no, no. I don't want to be too exposed. All right. I'm just acknowledging that. It's safe. Oh, look at those pretty colors. It feels very earthy. Like a little trees or something. And there's, gosh, can you see that face in there in the orange? It's like a little person. I definitely am getting tree energy with this 6. I think that's where I'm going to start. So what's number 6? Is that a significant number for you? I lose ya? Uh-oh. I have to watch the record. I'm just gonna talk as if they're still here. And watch the number 6 reminds me of home. Related to home. It's the tree. Really like a little hole in the tree there to me. Like a little, again, I'm getting this like home vibe. Mhm. There's Randy. The joys of Zoom. I am grateful for this technology. I think it's pretty cool. You back with me, Randy?
Yes, sorry, my phone died.
Oh, that's all right.
I came in here to plug it in and you called my name at the same time and I got too excited.
Oh, that's what okay. Just as you were plugging it in too, huh? So I was just saying that number 6, that reminds me of home. Like, and I feel like there's a tree here with a little hole in it, which is like home for a little critter or something, you know?
6 is my birthday number.
Birthday. Oh, nice. Yeah. And so the circle here, this is like self, like. And I don't know if you could see that face right in there. There's looks like a little golden face.
I do.
Let me see if I can. What was that? Was it 39? What was the other number that, did you pick 39?
I did.
Okay, so that's what that color is. That's that vibrant green. I'm gonna try to just outline them and then. Sometimes when they're, it almost, you know, it almost feels like a sculpture, like a, you know what I mean? Like a bust or
Mhm.
something. And then here, this feels like a swan or a duck or, yeah, it's a swan. Mhm.
That's funny. The first video I ever watched of yours was of a swan.
Oh, really? Just the other day, I think I did a
Yeah.
swan. Yeah. That's cool. That's what drew you in. Called you in with the swan. Yeah. I love the gracefulness of a swan. That's what it
Store.
says. It's like, this one feels extra magical.
No. Raven, please. Sorry, my daughter.
How old is she?
She's 4.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, baby. Kind of have a little mask on, don't they? Oh yeah, this one's fun. So that other one had on the
Okay.
calendar had like a spiral out here too. So this one, I'd never painted one like that before, but I feel like this one's got that same radiating energy.
Its wings were wide spread out too.
Yeah. Like there's something here too. Hmm. So Orange, do you make art yourself?
I do.
Do you do
I
it?
haven't in a while though.
I was just gonna say, do you do it often? Because I was like, oh, you need more orange. You need more of this creative kind
I
of
do. I've been
flow.
thinking about it a lot though lately. So
Oh, good. That's what the swan just wants to be orange. It's like not just the beak, like make it all orange.
Mhm.
In the contrast of that beautiful green, which feels like, yeah, it's just in your heart to create. And yeah. Did you say it's general?
yes.
Did you have a specific question?
Uh I mean I could like
I mean, you don't have to, but yeah, it feels like there's something. It's-
just kind of like what's going on and or what should I really do?
So do you connect to non-physical? Are you a medium?
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's, yeah, I feel like that's a spirit above that swan. And it's connected then to your creativity. Like the more that you make art and you go, you can give yourself that kind of outlet, the more, if you want to, the more that it enhances your connection. I feel like there's like an underground. Like, this is so. Oh, and it feels like you have really deep emotions. So, like, you're so empathic that connecting with someone that might take quite a toll. So,
Yeah.
especially working with, people who are passed or that kind of thing. I feel like there's like this underground little, what do you call it when there's like a little bunny or something like a
A burrow.
burrow? Yes, thank you. That's what I was looking for. I'm like, it's like this little underground thing. Yeah, it's like this little safe place for like a curled up little animal, like a fox.
Yeah, I've kind of been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
And I haven't been connecting spiritually as much either because it is exhausting. And I've had a lot of
And
other
that's
things
what
going
it
on.
feels like, is like this exhaustion. So it's like recovery. It's not the word
Rejuvenating almost.
yeah, restoration. That's what it feels like, restoration.
Mhm.
So there's this little animal like down in the little burrow.
Mhm.
It's all it's so interesting. I never really thought about it before, but a curled up little animal kind of makes a little spiral too. So that's your creativity kind of just resting. And then there's another resting spot over here in this little hidey hole in the tree. And so
Mhm.
6 kept making me think of like home. So it feels like nature. I know the weather's not great for getting out and visiting the trees, but if you can, they'd love to see ya. That's part of the rejuvenation, the restoration. And I've got a, okay. Hold on.
Just a minute, Raven.
All right. All right, one more thing here. So it's like the swan is kind of spreading its wings to protect this little burrow. So the grace, I feel like that's spirit, grace. So you can like ask for this kind of protection. Yeah, so it's kind of protect. So there's like this spirit in waiting, like, hey, I'd like to place a
Mhm.
call kind of thing. But there's all these little like areas of refuge. Just almost feels like a body, like 2 arms and 2 legs, like being a tree. I don't know if spirits through nature come to you too. That feels external. But there's this kind of protective, like, oh, I just caught in my throat. Do you sing or do you do chanting?
Not, I wish I could. My throat just doesn't let me. Like
It just, mm,
I have asthma, so
excuse me. Um, it feels like toning or something like that would really release a lot too. But there's like this grace protecting. There's this your creativity is like a protective thing to keep you from all the stuff so that your creativity can rest under all of it, deep down. Yeah, but surrounded by all this green. So there's just a lot of love. There's just so much love around you. That's what that 6, it just, the word home just keeps coming up over and over and over, like home. So maybe it's just your home is your sanctuary. All right, let's see what the cards say about that too.
it's fine. I just realized 14 isn't my house number too. I just realized that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. All right, so this one says feed your fear, and there's a little house there too. Release your hungry heart from its cage. There's a little, dude, look, there's an owl up here, and I love this one, it's funny. Release your
Foxes
hungry
burrow
heart from
too.
its cage before it devours your joy. Nourish with love and permission to be. Give it space to heal and wisdom to fly free. So release your hungry heart from its cage. So there are things that you want to do that you know what I mean? That yes, rest is important, but sometimes I think we get in a cycle of doing nothing, or doing that kind of rest when some sort of restorative action I keep coming back to that word restorative. And that green here, I'm gonna pull one more just to get a little more clarity because I feel like that. Oh yeah, find your fairy tale. Yeah, so if you release your hungry heart, there's a desire in you that wants to be released. Look upon your life as a magical adventure. Pay particular attention to music and let it guide your emotional path. That's what I think what I was feeling was maybe it's not singing or making your own music, but like listening to music can really shift you into that.
The musical scrying, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
So there's your little set.
Great. Thank you.
My pleasure. It was nice to connect with you.
And I will get that. I will take that one too.
Okay, yeah, I'll send these out and when I have the energy to send an email.
Okay.
All right. I think that's all I've got tonight, but I will open it up. I'm gonna leave this one. And if I didn't paint for you, I'm happy to pull a card for you. So if you want to raise your hand for a card, let me know. And if you want to raise if you have any questions about the process or anything like that, I'm happy to answer those questions. So let's see. Camry, did you have a question? Or do you just have your hand up? Let me pull the chat up real quick.
No, I just have my hand up. Hold on.
Oh,
I'll fix
okay.
it.
No
I
problem.
just didn't ever take
Hi.
it down. There we go. Hi.
All right, let me see. What are you doing, Lou? I'm like, this up here. Let's see if I can do it like this. Yeah. And okay. Natasha, would you like a card? I see you in there. Let me see the chat real quick. Do you have a specific question? All right, I gotta read the chat. Hold on a second. Can you remind me, are you channeling my higher self through yours or something like that? Yeah, so I guess what it feels like to me is that I am connecting with my source, and which is where everyone else's source is. And so, yeah, I think of it as channeling a person's higher self through, just kind of opening myself up to let that come. So it's like they're borrowing my hands to paint. But then when I look at the images, I'm drawing on, so some of it's intuition, so some of it just kind of comes out my mouth. So it's kind of just like channeled or whatever. And then some of it is from stuff I've read and studied through art therapy and different books and, that kind of stuff. Are you being sarcastic? I don't know sarcasm. So you got all right, Susan, here's a card for you. Oh, this is really interesting. Look at the card. So this one looks like Yana's painting. Be aware of the physical items you use every day. They retain the energy of your intentions. Whatever you do, do it with love, and you will imbue your entire life with magic. Isn't that trippy? Look at, that's great. So that's for Susan. Elise, I hope that's the way to say it. card pulled with focus on what's happening the year ahead personally. You got it. Oh, that was, okay. Natasha, tell me if you want a card or not, please. All right, so this one's for Elise. On what's happening the year ahead personally. Unleash your peace. So take a leap and set your soul free. So this year, rather than focusing on trying to find your footing, you'll find the faith to spread your wings. Acknowledge oneness, feel the stability of continuous flow, and recognize that the source of peace moves through you. So it feels like for you personally this year, you're going to get really in touch with that flow and your ability to, you know, spread your wings and do more rather than finding like stability. It's going to be more movement, and that in that movement you will feel stable and sure. All right, no specific question, just a card. You got it. So tomorrow is art support group. If anybody wants to come and make some art with me, we're going to do a guided activity. You don't need any special materials or anything, and it's totally free. There's only 8 spots, so I don't know how many spots are left, but you're welcome to join. Tiffany says, I consider myself an intuitive spiritual artist also. Very cool. How do you find the courage to trust what you're receiving and put it out there? Oh God. I'm trying to think back to when I started, because now I've probably done, I don't know how, I've done hundreds of readings. So I've gotten evidence, like weird stuff, you know, where the confirmation of, you know, just amazing, like how could I know that, you know, other than it's just kind of flowing through. So I've gotten lots of confirmation over time. But in the beginning, I think in the beginning, I've always used qualifiers like I feel this could mean this, you know, and so I felt, and I always, because of my academic background, I like to back things up with why I'm saying it, you know, like if I can point to specific, an author or, you know, so I think you'll hear me say that a lot, like, oh, this reminds me of this, or so, you know, so I'm kind of academic in my thinking, so it helps with my self-confidence to say like, there's a reason I'm saying this, and you know, so that's, I think, where I found my confidence and my courage to trust. And then because I trust my art, and I trust that I've done it for myself for oh my God, like I've been reading my art for myself since 2008 or early around, you know, where I've been like, oh, I can connect and receive messages through my art. And then I started doing it for other people like in 2012-ish, maybe a little earlier. And so because I did it for so long for myself, and that's part of it too. I feel like a lot of it's just doing it. And like, I don't know. You get what you put out, right? So people will feel it. All right, Natasha, this one's for you. Oh, you get 2. I guess everybody really needs to hear this one today. This has come up a couple times. Focus on the light. Focus on the light. The time for digging in the dirt has passed. So look up, look for the light, and it will guide your growth. You've done all the work. Like you don't need to do any more digging. And then this other one too, full spectrum soul. This is a newer one. Accept the limitlessness of your being to experience the beauty of dusk while you rejoice in the dawn. There's a lot going on in this one. This is like light and shadow. Love your light and shadow. Love your moon and sun. Love the whole full spectrum of yourself. Yeah. Another dragonfly. You're welcome. Well, thank you all so much for coming. If anybody has any questions, let me know. But I just want to say thank you so much. And I hope to see you again soon, and come on over to Art Support Group too, if you'd like.